This weekend means more for Frank Reich. I do not accept any other thought process.
It means more.
It does. It just does. Frank Reich versus the Colts. That's how I'm looking at this. Everybody else is just trying to help him out. Everybody else is just trying to win. The Colts fired Frank Reich and replaced him with Jeff gosh darn Saturday. Remember how ridiculous that was?
Yes.
Jeff Saturday had 3 mediocre years coaching high school football, and other than that, he sat at a desk talking about offensive line pancakes, and then he took over for Frank Reich. If you expect a competitor like Frank Reich not to take that personally, I wholeheartedly disagree with your thought process. And by the way, it's not like the situation that he, quote-unquote, failed at in Indianapolis was easy. Now, I'm not saying they should have given him a lifetime contract, but let's not forget he signed up to be the Colts coach when he thought he'd just now be going into the, hey, do you think we should start thinking about Andrew Luck moving on portion of his career. He took over the Colts with Andrew Luck, and it was very difficult for him to recover from an all-time great quarterback retiring at 29 years old. Right, he should be in the Russell Wilson portion of his career right now because they were in the same draft class.
That's right. Forgot about that.
So that's what he took over, and obviously it didn't go that way. He had 5 years, 5 different quarterbacks, so didn't always break his way. This is personal. Frank Reich talked to the media today, and he mentioned it always means a little bit more.
In this particular case, yeah, it always means a little bit more. But it's not, for me, it's not more. For some people, when that happens, it means more in a vengeful way. I don't look at it like that. I've never looked at it, motivated, yes. Highly motivated, yes. But it's more, it's just a different perspective. It's a different perspective, but it's both can be true. It's just another game, but it also, you understand it's a different dynamic. I think both of those things can be true.
I don't know if they can, Frank, to be honest with you. It means more, but not in a vengeful way. That's like saying, it weighs more than 60 pounds, but it's less than 20 pounds. Like it can't work that way. It means more because of your vengeful thoughts. You want to show them they made a mistake from moving on. That you were the best, that you are the best, that they should have kept you, they should have valued you. It'd be weird if you didn't think that way. It'd be weird if you were like, well, I get it. I wasn't very good. It'd be weird if you thought that way. I have a movie that I'm going to reference here that my guess is many of you don't even know existed. But you know the franchise. You heard of Major League?
Yes.
Jake Taylor, Roger Dorn, Serrano, Willie Mays Hayes, the squad.
Wild Thing Ricky Vaughn.
Wild Thing Ricky Vaughn. The manager who spoke like this. Give him the heater, Ricky. You've heard of Major League 2. Many of the same cast gets together, but suddenly it's, oh, look, that's Omar Epps playing Willie Mays Hayes. That's a different guy, but largely the same crew. Have you heard of Major League 3, Back to the Minors?
Unfortunately.
I love that movie. It's weird nostalgia for me. I absolutely love that movie. But there is a point where they're getting ready for the big game. All right, I'm gonna give you the details because it applies to Frank Reich. I promise you. I bring Major League 3 back to the minors, back to Frank Reich. Come with me on this journey. There's a personal rivalry between the managers of the two clubs that are going to end up playing at the end of Major League 3 back to the minors. Now, it also happens to be the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Twins AAA affiliate. But how they get there is less important than what I'm about to tell you. The manager of the one team and the manager of the other team hate each other. They've gotten into fistfights in this movie. The one has made advances on the other one's wife. They hate each other, or a girlfriend at the time, eventually fiance. They hate each other. And this is the speech. I went up and looked it up, right? I got it right off the IMDb page. This is word for word the speech from protagonist, manager of the Buzz, Gus Cantrell. He says this in the locker room to his team before the big game. And I encourage Frank Reich to use this same speech word for word. I know most coaches would tell you to go out there and have fun or to fulfill your dream. I am asking that you win this one for me. Yeah, win this one for Gus Cantrell. So let's stay loose, have fun. Let's go out there and take a bite out of the big team's bleep. That's what I want Frank Reich to do. Channel his inner Gus Cantrell from Major League 3 back to the minors, cinematic classic that I used to have on VHS. Just say, this one is for me. This team out there said I wasn't good enough. I need you, Bryce Young, to go out there and dice them up so I can talk trash. I need you, Frankie Louvu, to go out there and knock Gardner Minshew on his behind 3 or 4 times so I can talk trash. And not the talk trash that you'd actually expect from Frank Reich, because Frank Reich's not going to go over there and get in anyone's face. I'm talking about the type of trash that Frank Reich would talk, which is running over there after a win and shaking the other team's hand with a good, firm handshake, looking them in the eye and saying, "Good game, coach." While everybody knows what that means. That's what they're looking to do. In a season where you are 1-6, any motivation helps. Sure, you're not technically, mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, right? You're still in the running, but you need to get a run going before you even let your mind wander down that path. And a good way to do that would be to get back-to-back wins. You just beat the Houston Texans. Now you have the Indianapolis Colts. Whatever motivation is necessary. And if Frank Reich, if the team cares about him, if he's put in the work, if they came together at training camp the way a team is supposed to come together at training camp, they will lay themselves and their physical beings on the line to give Frank Reich a one-up on the team that fired him. Sometimes it's that simple. What, ready for another movie reference? This one will be quicker, I promise.
Hit me.
The Town?
Oh, I love that movie.
When Ben Affleck comes in and says, "Hey, we got to go. We got to hurt some people, and I can't tell you anything about it." What does Jeremy Renner's character say?
Whose car are we taking?
Whose car we taking? It's not a good Boston accent, but it's a great sentiment, right? The enemy of my friends is my sworn enemy. I don't need to know what they did to you, and I'm riding along. Heck, we'll drive my car if we need to. Mm-hmm. I need Frank Reich to go into that locker room and say, "Hey, listen, everybody, that team out there, they did something to me. I'm not going to give you all the details. I'm not going to explain to you that I thought I'd be coaching Andrew Luck. I'm not going to explain to you that Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan decided they were just going to completely fall off the edge as soon as I was coaching them. I'm not going to explain all of that to you. I just need you to go out there and handle some business. And I need Bryce Young to look at him and go, "Coach, whose car are we taking?"
Yeah.
I need it to be that on site. And if you get up 2 touchdowns, make it 3 touchdowns. And if you get up 3 touchdowns, make it 4 touchdowns. Pour it on.
Leave no doubts.
Another good movie reference.
Yes.
I don't want them to gain another yard. I want them to remember forever the night they played the Titans. # Coach Yost.
As someone who has coached against former schools before, I did in college, coached against former schools. Oh, it's personal.
Oh, heck
it
yeah,
is
it's
very
personal.
much personal. Even if you left that school on your own terms, it's still personal.
Athletes are notorious grudge holders.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in college playing against teams that I thought should have recruited me more than they did, or offered scholarships to guys that I thought was better than. I was better than. Heck, those matchups were personal.
Oh, yeah. There are jobs that I applied for at other colleges that I got turned down or wasn't even interviewed or something for. When I played against them or coached against them, I should say. Oh, you know I'm running it up.
And it
happened.
And it's those things, me and you were the only ones that knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Frank Reich, everybody knows.
Oh, we all know.
Everybody knows that the Colts fired you and replaced you with a cartoon character. Not saying Jeff Saturday as a person is a cartoon character. I'm saying what he represented as a head coach in the NFL was a cartoon character. A guy that had absolutely no experience. And even if you look at his playing career, he played most of it with Peyton Manning. You think you had a lot of say into the offense? You think you had a lot of say into the strategy? Peyton Manning's offense. It's one of those deals where Frank Reich has every right to be mad. I think he should be. I think he should be vengeful. I think he should be bitter. And I think he should do everything he possibly can to get his team to carry out his vengeance, to go get his you will hear my vengeance. Right? What is it? Another movie reference. Let's go down Gladiator. My name is Frank Reich, son of an older Reich, father of children, and you will hear my vengeance in this life or the next.
I think it's going to go The Batman, I Am Vengeance.
Sure. Let's go with all the movie references.
The one thing I will say for Reich, though, make sure that you don't go too far with the emotion where it actually inhibits what you do on the sideline.
Oh, but he's not calling plays anymore.
That's a good point.
What's he going to do? Call a quick timeout?
I don't know.
What is he going to do?
4th and 12 at your own 30-yard line.
We're going
for it.
I want to see it.
I kind of do.
I want to see it.
I kind of do.